The world looks a little brighter for 23-year-old Wendy Camp, since she's getting to see her 4-year-old son for the first time in months. She's been locked in a custody battle with her ex-husband, Chad No.
Chad made arrangements for Beverly No, Chad's mother, to drive to Oklahoma City, pick Wendy up, and bring her to Shamrock, Oklahoma, where Chad was living at the time, to visit with Jonathan, their 4-year-old son.
Wendy was super excited to go, and her daughter, she's 6 years old, asked to go, and she was permitted to go. Wendy's current husband did not feel comfortable with Wendy going alone, so he had asked his sister, Lisa, to go with them. Wendy reluctantly agreed. You know, she really wanted to just go by herself with Cynthia, her daughter.
They got to Shamrock at about 1:40 p.m. on that date. The first thing they did was stop at a convenience store there so that Wendy could call her husband, Leon, let him know that they'd made it there. From there, Beverly took them to Chad's house. By all accounts, the visitation went well. Beverly showed back up at the house at around 4:30 to pick Wendy and Cynthia and Lisa up to take them home. They went to the same convenience store, and again, Wendy called Leon to say, "We're headed back home." And that call was about 4:40, 4:45 p.m.
Leon was very, very concerned when they had not made it home by 8 o'clock.
Leon fears something is wrong. And when he talks to Beverly, Wendy's former mother-in-law, that fear deepens. Beverly, who'd driven them to the visit, dropped them off at a shopping mall 45 minutes outside Oklahoma City, instead of driving them back home. The family waits by the phone, fearing the worst, as the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, the OSBI, starts searching for Wendy, little Cynthia, and Lisa.
All of the people who had been working at the store on that date were interviewed. People in businesses in the area, everybody was talked to, and nobody reported seeing anybody like that. Beverly said that when she picked the girls up, her mother, Ida Pruitt, was also with her. They hadn't got a block, and Wendy was just complaining about everything. So Ida told Beverly, "Why don't you just take me home?" Beverly dropped Ida off and then continued on to Chandler, Oklahoma.
When she reaches the Walmart in Chandler, she said she had become very tired of listening to them. So she just stopped and dropped them off. Beverly was very cooperative with us, answering all the questions. Everything she was telling me was very feasible.
Agents interview Wendy's husband, Leon, and clear him. That's not the case with Chad No, Wendy's ex. Red flags pop up right away. And they're connected to Wendy's illness.
When Jonathan, my grandson, was 3 weeks old, that's when she developed the multiple sclerosis. Wendy could not walk or anything.
When Wendy was in the coma, we found out that Chad had filed for a divorce and for custody of Jonathan.
Chad No was interviewed numerous times. Chad's story matches up with Leon's story and with a lot of what Beverly said. Chad was never ruled completely out, but Chad No did not become the focus of this investigation.
All the interviews and searches lead nowhere. A year and a half after the disappearance, the TV show Unsolved Mysteries features the case.
They came out and did the interview, and we felt that that could help solve the case.
Something about the program stands out to Wendy's sister. In an interview, Ida Pruitt, Beverly No's mother, strongly denies she or Chad No had anything to do with the disappearance.
Why would Ida get so upset and claim on the Unsolved Mysteries segment that my sister was griping and a bitching about the past. Her remarks do not make sense. I knew that the family was involved.
Suspicions remain, but leads dry up, and the case of Cynthia, Wendy, and Lisa goes colder than a winter freeze in Oklahoma. The case languishes for years, but a suspicious fire might revive it. Police charge Beverly Noe and Ida Pruitt with arson.
Beverly and Ida set Beverly's house on fire, and they were arrested.
They did it for insurance money. It just shows the corruption in their soul.
Beverly and Ida do 6 months and are released. Then, 4 years later, Ida Pruitt dies. It takes 2 years when an unnamed relative calls in with a lead.
This person's story was that the bodies were buried under a cement slab at a home where Grover Pruitt used to live. Grover Pruitt is Ida Pruitt's son and Beverly Noe's brother. The tip was vetted out, but no bodies were found. Still, this did jumpstart the investigation again on Grover Pruitt.
We interviewed Grover at his house.
Grover started telling him about this other property he owned back then.
Grover had sold 5 of those acres to his mother, Ida. She had asked him to dig her a hole to put a septic tank in. Shortly after that, Wendy, Lisa, and Cynthia went missing.
Excavation on the hole begins, and it's a slow and careful process.
As we got further down, we began to find layers of trash.
And then we saw a little sneaker. There were what appeared to be 2 adult skeleton remains and then a smaller child skeleton remains.
Investigators have finally found the bodies of Wendy, Cynthia, and Lisa.
An autopsy was performed. Wendy Camp had sustained gunshot wounds and sharp force trauma, likely a knife. Lisa Kreger had multiple gunshot wounds to the torso, and Cynthia by homicide by undetermined means.
The OSBI special agents turned to the person who helped them find the bodies, Beverly Noe's brother, Grover Pruitt.
We asked him if he would wear a wire and go talk to his sister about Wendy, Lisa, and Cynthia, and Grover agreed reluctantly. Grover told Beverly that OSBI wanted his 357, and Beverly said, "I don't know why they do that. We threw all the guns in the hole."
With the discovery of the bodies and everything that we learned with Beverly's statement on the recording about guns, we decided it was time to arrest Beverly. Beverly was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, but she never admitted to any of this. It could have been Beverly or Ida, either one, but Ida had died. So Beverly ultimately pled guilty to 3 counts of accessory to murder because she claimed that Ida had done it. Beverly Noe was given 15 years in prison for this.
Then, less than 5 years later, the family faces one final injustice.
Beverly's back out in society. It's crazy.
I feel that my family members got no justice whatsoever simply because of the fact Beverly is out of jail after 4.5 years. What's the justice? Where was the justice? And to this day, 30 years later, Jonathan is still living with Beverly.